Check.
Live. Check. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shabrakatah, Yahweh Shemal Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Priest and Officer Bankayal, Mr. Fayetteville, I.S.U.P.K Sabbath service. And we're going to get started here shortly. We're going to read these prayers. You got that? Most High Christ. Shalom Shkatah. Excuse me.
Come. Trooper Darasha Moth, present yourself, Baba Kasha.
Trooper Darasha Moth, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Trooper Darasha Moth, Banya Howard, Banya Shala.
Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shabrakatah.
You got the mouthpiece of this joint?
No words.
There it is. I see it.
Banya Shala.
Banya Shala. Imagine, meaning stand. So Wapan Yaha Kwadam, meaning turn and face the east. We get ready to say these prayers. We're starting off in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shimka, Yahweh, Malataka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathalanao, Lakam, Cow, Yawam, Wasalaknao, Kabawatnao, Kasalaknao, Kabawatnao, Wala'ah, Tabia Ayanao, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashayano, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Lakat, Hamalaku, Waha'ala, Wataparat, Lawalumim, Aman.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it.
This is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Baba Kashab, Nathalanao, Hakak, Larpa'ah, Kamakala, Hakamarawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakim, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawak, Hatama'ala, Lagarshan, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the water among.
In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a,
Asha'a,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahaharium,
Aharium,
Ma'yan,
Ma'yan,
Yaba'ai,
Yaba'ai,
Izaria,
Izaria,
Ma'aim,
Ma'aim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'arataza,
Wa'arataza,
Ayatan,
Ayatan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalka,
Regalka,
Alyanawam,
Alyanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yayashan,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazarka,
Tazarka,
Al-Yad,
Al-Yad,
Yamyaka,
Yamyaka,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashemash,
Hashemash,
La'ayakaka,
La'ayakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Bakarai,
Bakarai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Atnapashka,
Atnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza'aka,
Taza'aka,
Wabawa'aka,
Wabawa'aka,
Mayata,
Mayata,
Wa'aid Iwalam.
In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'ala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dama Yalaka, Al-Takarash, wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Al-Yabyaka, Yahamayawan, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'imra Yamwa, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'ai-Tazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amarawa, Lakawa, Wanakakiram, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Awada, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Bariyat, Yakaratwa, Aholia, Adawam, Wayashima'ala, Yum, Mawa'aba, Wahagorium, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashat, Amyashabya, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalaham, Kamajin, Kasayasa Ra'a, Kayabian, Banakal, Koyashwan, Lashimadwa, Ba'ayat, Salak Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, Laya Dama, Shayatumwa, Nadiyab Mawa, Ka'irab, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Mana'ai, Kana Sayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nairashah, Lanawa, At, Na'awat, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatumwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Lapaya Raka, Ka'ash, W.I.O. Ya'ira, Wakalahabab, Tahalat, Harayam, Kantaradatma, Messiah Raka, Wabasab, Wapatka, Dabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kualawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shumka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ija'ai, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadawa, Kayata, Shumka, Yahweh, Labaka, Ayawa, Al-Kaha Arataza.
In the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasha'ala may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Ze'er. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh, my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
This is the prayer for the power, instruction, blessings of Israel. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Miyaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Wa Tazabiyah, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapim, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kwatazayoyim, Ha Koyoyim, Wa Akwatim, Yahweh, By Hashem Yahweh Shai, the water Aman.
In the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it.
Sir, in the turn, Yeshabim, and be seated. Last week where we left off was Leviticus, the 18th chapter, and the 16th verse. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up on Leviticus, the 18th chapter, and start at the 17th verse. If you have any questions, you understand in the room, raise your hand, Baba Kasha. If you have any questions online, you understand, type it in the group chat. We'll get to it, man. So I can pull my Bible up. So this is Leviticus. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 17 in the Hebrew. Arawath, Asha, Wabata, La'a, Tagala, Ath, Bath, Bana, Wa'ath, Bath, Bata, La'a, Takak, Lagalwath, Irawata, Sha'ara, Hana, Zama, Hawa'a, verse 18. Wa'asha, Al, Akata, La'a, Takak, Latazarar, Lagalwath, Irawata, Alya, Bakaya, verse 19. Wa'al, Asha, Na, Slaki, Banadath, Tama'ata, La'a, Takarab, Lagalwath, Arawata, verse 20. Wa'al, Asha, Amyatak, La'a, Tatan, Shaka Batak, Lazarai, Latama'ai, Ba, verse 21. Wamaza Ra'ak, La'a, Tatan, Laha, Iba Yar, Lamalak, Wala'a, Takalal, Ath, Shum, Alayak, Anya, Yahweh, verse 22. Wa'ath, Zakar, La'a, Tashakab, Masha Kabia, Asha, Tawa, Iba, Hawa'a, verse 23. Wabakal, Bahama, La'a, Tatan, Shaka, Batak, Latama, Ba, Wa'asha, La'a, Ta'imad, Lapanya, Bahama, Laraba'ai, Takal, Tabals, like Hawa'a.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. There shalt thou take her son's daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter, or her daughter's daughter, to uncover her nakedness. For they are her near kinsmen. It is wickedness.
Right. So we right here in the middle of Pride Month. And this is the spirit of lasciviousness. Is that right, Officer Quadam? The spirit of lasciviousness is upon the earth, especially upon America.
Right.
You know, the beautiful thing about being Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian is that we have our own separate culture, our own separate customs and traditions that we are to adhere to, and they're outlined in the Bible.
Right.
Unlike America, America tell you that it's appropriate for you to do these things. America enforces and promotes sexual deviancy, and that's what you see here. And the Lord's just telling you can't do these things if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You can't uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter.
Right.
You greedy bastard. Why would you want to do that? That's a wicked, vile thing.
That's right.
Salaki, continue.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 18. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime.
Yeah, to vex her, to make her jealous, man. We don't intentionally harm one another in this nation. We are a family, and we are compassionate towards one another. That's the beautiful thing about our culture. Because a heathen, they don't give a damn. They do whatever. They are carnal, just like animals, okay?
Right.
Like wild animals, wild beasts.
Right.
We have to conduct ourselves with a sense of decorum, like we absolutely care about one another, man. All right, keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 19. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness.
Good night. Y'all know what that means, right? What is her uncleanness? Her uncleanness would be that period or her cycle. Right. There's a reason why the Most High gave a woman an opportunity for her body to cleanse itself. Right. And here you go, wanting to be like the oppressor. Right. We don't believe in horror stories in here, man. You don't lay down with a woman when she is dealing with her cycle. That's her period of time, and it's a very special time for a woman. It's a rite of passage for a young woman, when she gets her first flower, Mm-hmm. So don't be wicked, vile, and disgusting, man. Keep reading.
Verse 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not lie carnally with the neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife.
Right. So this is something that is done in the spirit of the flesh, man.
Right.
It is a very wicked thing to do, to look at your brother, his possessions, as they are your own. It's a wicked and disgusting thing to want to lay down with your brother's wife. You know that they're one flesh, right? That's nigh on a homosexuality. I know we can't teach that, but that's the spirit of what it is to lay with another man's wife.
Right.
I halfway want to look at your brother's ribs in the face. That's just to say shalom, because I don't want things to be misconstrued, man. Right. You made your decision and you chose my brother, and I love you for it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that, man. That's right. America. That is what the heathens do. They don't have any respect when it comes down to property, even though they promote this. Right. They believe in the right to you owning private property, but the Bible says that when a man gaineth a wife, he gaineth a what? A possession. Right. That belongs to him. It don't belong to you. We're outnumbered by women any goddamn way.
Right.
Salakia, man. Continue. Is that it on that?
Concert. It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
So when we talk about our seed, we're talking about what? Our children, right? Right. And how do we allow our children to pass through the fire of Molech, which is basically an idol? It's a false god. This is a god that has no power. And the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. So the same gods of yesterday exist in the earth today. Okay? As real as the goddamn Nikes that's on your feet. Those Nikes were named after the god of warfare, the god of victory. Right. Okay? But when you think about the things that are taught to our children in the school curriculum, I didn't learn Easter at my house. I learned Easter at school. I learned about Bunny rabbits laying eggs, man, at school. I learned about leprechauns and rainbows with a pot of goddamn gold at the end of it. Right. In school, I learned about Santa Claus and the reindeer and the North Pole and elves and all this folklore and all this mythology in school. Nothing true about any of this stuff. This is why it's imperative for you to get into the I.S.U.P.K so you can teach your family, you can teach your children the truth. All right? Right. You can't allow your children or your seed to pass through the fire. What it means is spiritually, you do not intentionally, participate in these customs of the heathens, man. Right. We worship other gods when we embrace these things, when we embrace the customs and traditions of America, their holiday system. We have our own separate high holy days. We have our own separate Sabbath days, man, that are supposed to be holy, which just means separate. All right. Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt profane the name of thy God.
Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Most High, man. Do we honor the name of the Most High Power? Not when we praying to white Jesus. When we're honoring, Caesar Borgia, we calling Jesus God. Right. You profane in the name of the Most High Power. His name is Yahweh, man, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. That is Jesus Christ, man. Yahweh Shai Mashiach, man. Keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind.
Read that loud. Salakia.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination.
Man, it is wickedness in the sight of the Lord. It is repugnant for a man to lie down with another man as he would with a woman in the sight of the Lord. These ain't my words. Don't look at me like, we're a hate group. The Bible is the most sold book on planet Earth, man. Why is the Bible the most sold book on the planet Earth? Because of the truths that it holds, man. Right. It's annoying to me, the fact that America prides itself on their customs and on its constitution and on its legal system, on the judicial system, and it's like we don't hold true to anything of value on the side of the Lord in this place. Right. This is the reason why it's okay for us to embrace Pride Month all throughout the whole month of June. They have a celebrations all over America. Right here at Festival Park in Fayetteville, they are preparing to celebrate Pride Month, man. Right. And it is a wicked, evil thing in the sight of the Lord. If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you have to understand you cannot do this, man. You cannot be a homosexual. You cannot be a lesbian. You cannot be gay. You cannot be bisexual. You can't be a goddamn transsexual. You can't be a pansexual or whatever the hell that is. You can't be a pedophile. All of this is sexual deviance. It's wickedness. It's evil. It's vile and disgusting in the sight of the Lord, man. Keep reading.
Verse 23. Neither shall thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith.
This is what you call unlawful sex, man. Bestiality. You don't want to lay down with a woman. You don't want to do what's natural. You don't want to do that normal thing. You want to sit down and put your rod in the mouth of a fish or in the tail of a goddamn sheep or something like that, man. It's absolutely evil to think about these things. And then you wonder, like, I see in Greek mythology that mixing, I forget what you call it, where they have like the morph between a human being and an animal. I forget the word. It escapes me right now. But you will wonder why these oddities would exist, and this is because of that.
And Salakia too, when you think about it too, even with the Roman Catholic Church,
right?
The priest, he ain't no damn priest, but that Catholic Pope, you understand, he got the Dagon, which is, exactly what you said, the damn half fish and a half man,
right?
And he even wear the hat on his head to show you that the God he served. Salakia.
No, you're right, man. We serve a God of separation. The Most High Power set divisions within the earth. With respect to the animals, the plants, the water from the land, the trees from the earth, men from women, and every beast, man. He created every beast has its own kind that it's supposed to procreate with. And that's how you continue the life that's here on this earth. You know, being just following in that whole LGBTQ agenda is an absolute hate crime, man. And it's a crime against humanity. It's a crime against life. You know, just imagine if everyone decided to do these things. The earth, the ground is cursed because of this. You know, I was listening to a sister this morning. She was talking about how she understands why, the earth here is cursed. The earth is dead here. The soil is dead here. And there's a living correlation between our health. She said, when I go over to the Holy Land, I've been to the Holy Land, and even though that's been defiled, she said it's just different. She understands why the people are fighting over that land. Because the Most High blessed that place, man. But we can't do these things, man. You can't lay down with a beast and think that that's natural.
Right.
You need to go talk to somebody, man. If you have the urge to want to lay down with Fido, you need to seek professional help, man. In this school, we have counsel. All right. Don't do that. Don't sleep with your pet snake or whatever the hell y'all do, man, or whatever people do, because we under America.
Right.
Salakia. You keep reading, brother. Is that it on that?
La. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion.
Yeah, man, you can't be doing that, man. See, we wouldn't know about any of this stuff if it weren't for, pornography. Then the so-called Jewish man, he runs the porn industry. All of your favorite porn websites, they're owned by one of them nasty bastards, man, that claim to be God's chosen people. You wouldn't know nothing about a horse mounting a woman unless it was for Pornhub, man, or whatever website is out there. That's disgusting, man. Just I don't even want to paint the picture, but it is absolutely abomination and wicked in the sight of the Lord, man.
Right.
He says it's what? It's confusion. It is confusion, man. This is the beautiful thing about these laws, because they set everything in proper order. Okay, we cannot be a nation that is confused. We have to be a nation that have a direct vision. We have to know what we are supposed to be doing every single day. All right, and this Bible gives us the paradigm by which we should live our lives on this earth, man. They say what? The basic instructions before leaving earth. That is so true about this Bible, especially when it comes down to you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child. Keep reading.
That was the end on
That's
that.
it.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 24 in the Hebrew. Al, Tata Ma'awa, Bakal, Allah, Kaya, Bakal, Allah, Nata Amawa, Hagawayum, Ashar, Anya, Mashalak, Mapan Yakum, verse 25. Watata Ma'a, Ha'arataza, Wa'apaquad, Iwana, Alya, Watakoa, Ha'arataza, Ath, Yashabaya, verse 26. Washamarathum, Athum, Ath, Taquatia, Wa'ath, Mashapatya, Wala'a, Aishwa, Macau, Hata wa Aibat, it's like Hata wa Aibat, Ha'ala, Zarak, wa Hagar, Bata wa Kakum, verse 27, Kaya, Ath, Cow, Hata wa Aibat, Ha'al, Aishwa, Anashia, Ha'arataza, Ashar, Lapan Yakum, Wata Tama'a, Ha'arataza, verse 28, Wala'a, Takoya'a, Ha'arataza, Atakam, Batama'akam, Ata, Ka'ashar, Kwa'a, Ath, Hagaya, Ashar, Lapanya come, verse 29. Kaya, Kal, Ashar, Aisha, Makal, Hata, Wa'ai, Bawath, Ha'ala, Wana Kara, Rathwa, Hana, Pashwath, Ha'ishath, Makarab, Imath, it's like Imam, verse 30. Washamarathum, Ath, Mashamaratat, it's like Mashamarathia, Laba Latia, Aishawath, Maka Kawath, Hatawa Ibath, Ashar, Na'ishawa, Lapan Yakam, Wala'a, Tama Tata Ma'awa, Baham, Anya, Yahweh, Allah Yakum. That's it.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 24. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
That word defile is very powerful, man. You know, you need to get you a Merriam-Webster's dictionary or just go online, www.merriam-webster.com, man, and you can figure out the definition of any word, all right? And we have to educate ourselves with respect to the King's English. This is not our tongue. This is not our language. We have our own separate language. And this brother over here, Officer Kodam right here, teaches a hell of a Lashawan Kodash class every Friday, man. It behoove you to get in class, all right? But that word defile just means to make unclean or impure. It corrupts the purity of perfection. It means to debase. It means to violate the chastity or virginity of, or to deflower it, man. It just basically means to make physically unclean, especially with something unpleasant or contaminating. All of these customs, man, all of these ways, these habits, these behaviors, these thought processes, these philosophies, these ideologies, these things are what make us impure, man. Right. And the Bible, the Most High said to do what? Defile what?
Salakia. For all in these nations are defiled, which I can't. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things.
Yeah, man, we defile ourselves when we take on these customs. When we go down to Festival Park and, you know, want to support our LGBTQ community, man. You cannot support them that way. That's not an act of love. You're furthering, you know, their destruction. You're furthering the pollution, not just on themselves, but on you, on us as a nation. The things that affect you affect me. Defile not yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, every nation that we were cast out, that we were scattered amongst, man. The Lord recognized that the nations were doing these things. This isn't what Abraham was doing. This isn't what Isaac was taught. This is not what he taught Jacob nor Esau to do. But for whatever goddamn reason, we envy our oppressor. We start to take on their customs, their traditions, man. We start to identify with our oppressor, man. We can't do that. Keep reading.
For in all these nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
Right.
Verse 25. And the land is defiled.
Like I said before, and the land is defiled. Man, our land is polluted. We're dealing with pollution everywhere. They talk about how wherever blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians are concentrated, they don't have access to clean water, man. The ground has toxins, man. You know, the way the Lord created the earth, man, there's so many different levels of just sediment. You know, you got the topsoil, and underneath that, you might have some sand, you may have some clay. You know, there's a natural way to filter out the water or the groundwater. We don't even have access to clean running water because of the land being polluted, right, because of these heathens. Right. You know, we just talked about that. That's right. What are the Native Indians just lost the Supreme Court injunction about, you know, them being able to have clean running water. You know, America forced them onto the reservation. They're not in their native lands, wherever the reservations are today. So yeah, you put them on the reservation, you should be responsible for providing them with clean running water and having access to it. Jackson, Mississippi, still don't got clean running water. Flint, Michigan, still don't have clean goddamn running water, man. They talked about, I forget what chemical they said was in the groundwater here in the Cape Fear region. You out there living near Stedman and Grays Creek, you don't have access to clean running water. You can thank the Comores plant for that. You can thank Smithfield Packing for that. Right. In addition to any other wicked and disgusting thing these oppressors are doing, which defile the land. Keep reading.
Verse 25, therefore I do visit the iniquity, therefore thereof upon it.
Right. The Most High is visiting the sin upon the land, man. What's upon the land? The people. It's the reason why we're dealing with what we deal with. That's why we lead in every statistical category as far as adverse health effects and complications, STIs, STDs. You know, it's the reason why. Keep reading.
And the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants.
Good night. The earth itself does what?
Itself vomiteth out of her inhabitants.
Good night. I just saw another video on the gram where they had those skulls getting regurgitated out of the earth, and they had one skull that had a German helmet on top of its head, man. The earth is vomiting out the inhabitants, man. That's exactly what is playing out before your eyes. This Bible is a living book, man. That's right. This is the living record of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, in addition to the just world. Keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 26. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments.
No, throw them away.
Shall keep therefore my statutes.
No, disregard them.
Keep my statutes and my judgments.
Let them die with Big Mama.
Keep my statutes and my judgments.
We got to hold on to these statutes, these laws. That's right. And recognize the judgments. The Most High already made the decision for you. He made it real simple. You got the duality of a decision. In our minds, we rationalize 10 different ways of Sunday, whether to go left or right. The Lord put before you blessing or cursing, man. Right. Life or death, man. He made it real simple, and he's outlining the reason why. Not only did he let you know what choice you should make, he's explaining to you why you should make that choice. Who said we don't have a loving father, man? Right. We're supposed to keep these laws. The law is not done away with, all right? Who's teaching that the law is done away with? The Christian church. What laws do Muslims keep? They don't keep no goddamn laws. Right. Not in accordance with what the Bible says. Keep reading.
And shall not commit any of these abominations.
Right.
Neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
So not only can we not do these things, you know, the strangers that travel amongst us, man, that visit, you know, we can't even allow them to do it. That's how wicked it is in the sight of the Lord, man. And you have to be separate. You cannot be joined to these things, because these are the things that are destroying us and destroying the land. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 27. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled.
Right.
Verse 28. And the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you.
Right.
Verse 29. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people.
Man, good night.
Verse 30. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord your God.
Christ said it on that.
God.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashah La'amar, verse 2. Dabar al Kal Irath Banya Yasha'ala wa Amarath Alaham Kwara Karashim Taha Yawa Kaya Karawash Anya Yahweh Ala Yakam, verse 3. Ayash Amawa Wa'a Kayawa Taya Ra'awa Wa'ath Shabbat Taya Hasha Marwa Anya Yahweh Ala Yakam, verse 4. Al Tapa Nawa Al Ha'a La Yalam Wa'ala Wa'ala Hayam Mata Masaka La'a Lakam Anya Yahweh Aliyah Allah Salaka Allah Yakam. Verse 5. Wakaya Taza Bakawa Zabak Shalom Yum La Yahweh La Ra Taza Nakam Taza Bak Hawa. Verse 6. Bayawam Zabak Kum Ya'akal Wama Maha Watslake Wama Ma Karath Waha Nawa Slaka Waha Na Watar Aid Yawam Hashala Yasha Shaya Ba'ash Yasharap. Verse 7. Wa'am Ha'akal Ya'akal Bayawam Hashala Ya Shaya Paga walls like it. Hawa'a La'a Yarataza. That's it, brother.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I am the Lord your God. I am holy.
Most High was speaking to who?
To the children of Israel.
He was speaking to Moses. And he told Moses to take this message to the children of Israel. The Lord was dealing with one person, man. As he was back then, he's dealing with one person today, man. And that person is Commanding General YAHANNA. And he is the one that has held on to this truth since 1969, man. The truth about who blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in correlation to what the Bible says, man. We are God's chosen. We are the so-called lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's who we are. That's your identity, not what the so-called white man calls you or defines you as or what you check off on, your birth certificate. This is what God said you are, all right? And the Lord said you're supposed to be holy. Get it out of your head what the church promotes as being holy. That is not holy. That's abomination. That's wickedness. That's disgusting. Okay? You're just supposed to be separate. You're supposed to do the other thing. All right? You're not supposed to do what you see goes on down there at Lewis Chapel or at Simon Temple or at In Soul or at any of the million churches that we have here in goddamn Fayetteville. You ain't supposed to do that thing. You're supposed to be a holy, separate people unto the Most High, man. Keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 3. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God.
Yeah, you should fear the Most High power, man. The whole family, man. Mother, father, children, everybody's supposed to fear the Lord. You're supposed to understand that, what the Lord laid down, this is what we can't deviate from this. This is our custom. This is our way. Take some pride in recognizing your culture. Every other nation does. You know who a Ukrainian is because they flying that dumb blue and yellow flag, man. You know exactly, what a Mexican is or what a so-called, and see, that's the thing. Those are false divisions. If you're a so-called Mexican, you are of God's chosen people, man. We're one family. We can't allow the Puerto Rican flag or the Mexican flag or the Cuban flag to divide us. All right. But when it comes down to these other nations, let them have their standard. Let them identify. They know exactly who they are. They can trace their history back 3, 4, 5, 600 years. But can you, black man? Can you, Hispanic man, Native Indian man? Keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 4. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God.
Man, we can't do what we did when we left Egypt, man, and turn back to the idols. Egypt is a goddamn graveyard, and they promote this as being our custom. This is the wickedness of the world, man. They glorify Egypt and King Tut, and all these things are dead. All these things are dead. They glorify sarcophaguses and, crypts and the pyramids. That's nothing more than a graveyard. Why are you honoring that? Why are you holding that in high esteem? Like there's any life there. All that stuff is dead. It's ancient history, all right? We cannot turn to idols, man. We can't turn to things that are devoid of power, devoid of life. We have to turn to the Most High, all right? And at the root of all of American holidays is idolatry. All right, keep reading.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 5. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, ye shall offer it at your own will.
Right.
Verse 6. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow, and it ought remain until the third day. It shall be burnt in the fire.
Right, man. Because what happens if it lasts beyond 3 days? What will happen? It'll be spoiled, man. You got real laws in this Bible that make absolute sense. If your mom fried salmon croquettes on Friday, you're not going to keep them till Monday just sitting out. You're going to get rid of it, or you're going to get sick and die, man. You're going to have foodborne illness. This is the Lord giving you wise counsel right now. All right? Keep reading.
And if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire.
That's right. Get rid of it. Keep reading.
Verse 7. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable.
Right.
It shall not be accepted. Sir.
This the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 8 in the Hebrew. Wa'akaliwa, Aranya, it's like Aranwa, Yasha'ah, Kaya, Ath, Kodash, Yahweh, Kalau, Wana Karatha, Hanapash, Hahawa'ah, Ma'ai Maya, verse 9. Waba Quatas a Rakum, Ath, Quatas a Yar, Aratas a Kum, La'ah, Hakala, Pa'ath, Shapak, Slak Shadak, Laquatazar, Walaquat, Quataza Yarak, La'ah, Halaquat, verse 10. Waka Romak, La'ah, Ha'ai, Slaka, Ta'ai Walau, Waparat, Karamak, La'ah, Halaquat, La'anya, Walagar, Slaka, Ta'ai Zab, Atham, Anya Yahweh, Alayakum, verse 11. La'ah, Taga Nakawa, Wala'ah, Taka Kashwa, Wala'ah, Tasha Kwarawa, Ayash, Ba'ai Maya Yato, verse 12. Wala'ah, Tasha Tashab Iwa, Bashamya, Lakwa, it's like a Lashakar, Waka Lalat, At Sham, Alayak, Anya Yahweh, verse 13. La'ah, Ha'ai Shak, Ath, Ra'ik, it's like a Wala'ah, Hagazal, La'ah, Talayan, Pa'ilath, Shakayar, Athak, Aid, Bakwar, verse 14. La'ah, Takalau, Karash, Walapanya, Iwar, La'ah, Tatan, it's like Makashal, Wayara'ath, Ma'alayak, Anya Yahweh.
Sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 8. Therefore, everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he hath profaned the hallowed thing of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Yeah, man, we can't get cut off from being disobedient, man. We have to follow these laws, statutes, commandments to a T, to the best of our ability, man. That's how you attain perfection, because you can't be perfect. The only people that are telling you can't be perfect is the Christian church, is the Muslim mosque, is Joe Biden, your teachers. You know, they're teaching you that you can't be perfect. But here in the I.S.U.P.K, we know good and goddamn well that you can't be perfect. All right. So there is no excuses. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 9. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest.
Right. When you talk about gleaning, it just means to gather, After the reaper done came down and cut down the grain, You're not to go and be greedy and just gather it up. You got to get every bit of the produce. You're not supposed to do that, man. Like I said, we are a very compassionate, we're supposed to be a compassionate, thoughtful, generous people. Okay. You being stingy, you learn that from the so-called oppressor. You see how he's very tight with a dollar. He gobbles up and hoards all the resources to himself. He can never have enough money in the sight of the oppressor. You know, that's not the custom. We ain't supposed to have that spirit, man. We operate and move as a family, and then as with family, you look out for family. You make sure your brother has what he needs, man. You make sure your sister has what she needs in order to sustain herself, in order for her to thrive, man. What? Look at us now. We don't do that. We don't look out for one another the way that we should. When you look at the so-called Asian men, they look out for each other. You look at those East Indians, they look out for one another. You look at the so-called oppressor, he looks out for his own kind. When are we going to do that as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Can you read it?
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 10. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thine vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord your God.
Yeah, man, you got a vineyard. Uh, that's how wealthy, we're supposed to be. We're supposed to have vineyards, so where you can go and get grapes. We got muscadines and scuppernaughs here in the Cape Fear region, and they just grow freely. You're supposed to allow, the less fortunate to go and glean. They should be able to go pick up, the grapes from your vineyard. I remember growing up on base, they had blackberries that would just grow, behind, the enlisted soldiers' housing. And we would just go and pick those blackberries like it was nothing. They ain't belong to no goddamn body. They were on base on Fort Bragg. I didn't grow up on Fort Liberty, okay? But Fort Bragg, man, off Honeycutt Road, I remember going in the woods and picking blackberries and bringing them in and letting my mom, she would make blackberry cobbler with the blackberries that we would just freely glean. And it was a beautiful thing. I'll never forget that. So when we come into our own, man, we're supposed to do that. We're supposed to be able to allow, the less fortunate of our people to just gather off of our land. I mean, you have goddamn land, you got property. I mean, what more do you want? Right. Keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
That's right, man. We can't be thieves. Who is the chief thief upon the earth, man? Our main oppressor, man, the most subtle beast of the field. Right. He steals everything from your identity to your culture, right, to your resources, to your land, right, to our women, our children. We were stolen as a people, man. That's his modus operandi. Rape, rob, murder. Everywhere he goes, every nation knows it. That's right. And every nation, we look at the so-called oppressor as being something great because of the things that he has amassed unto himself through these movements, man. That's right. We can't be that way, man. We cannot be thieves, all right? And we can't deal falsely with one another. Be honest in your dealings with brothers and sisters, man. Don't have no hidden agenda when you're dealing with a brother or when you're dealing with a sister, man. And neither lie one to another. Stop bearing false witness to one another, man. Be a man or a woman of your word. Your word should be your bond. They say word is bond, right? Right. Keep reading.
Verse 12. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord.
That's right.
Verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Yeah, man, you defrauding brothers, man. This brother done cut your yard and he needs his money. Why you think he cut your goddamn yard? You sitting there, you sitting on the money. You could have paid him right then and there. You gonna make a brother wait like he don't got things he need to take care of. You sitting here holding out. You see a brother need something, you have the resources or the ability to help him, and you opt out, then the eyes of the Lord are everywhere. What kind of report is being transferred up Jacob's ladder to the Most High Power? What is the Lord? What is the Lord hearing about you when the angels give report? You being some selfish bastard? Keep reading, man. Salakia.
Verse 14, thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor push a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord.
Yeah, you can't be out here. It's mayhem everywhere you go. You know, you just creating chaos everywhere you go. Right. You a wild beast. What did Esther used to call Fred? A heathen. Because that's what the heathens do. That's how they operate, man. Right. You can't be a goddamn heathen, man. Keep reading.
That was the end of verse 14.
Sorry, Christ.
This is the book of Leviticus. Oh, Salaki. You went to the bathroom. No, sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 15, in the Hebrew. La'ah, ta'aishawa, iwal, bama shapat, la'ah, ta'sha'ah, panya, rao, salaka panya rao, wala'ah, ta'hawa, salaka, ta'hadar, panya, got a wall, bata zarak, hashapat. Amya Tak, verse 16, La'ah, Halak, Rakayal, Ba'aymayak, La'ah, Ta'aymad, Al, Ram, Ra'ik, Anya Yahweh, verse 17, La'ah, Ha'asha, Tasha Na'ah, Ath, Akyak, Balaba Bak, Hawakak, Hawakayak, Ath, Amayatak, Wala'ah, Tasha'a, Al Yawa, Kata'a, verse 18, La'ah, Taka, Takum, Wala, Tatar, Ath, Banya, Amak, Wa'a, Habat, Lara'ai, it's like Lara'ak, Bamawak, Anya, Yahweh, verse 19, Ath, Taka, Takathia, Tasha Marwa, Baha Matak, La'ah, Tarabia Ai, Bala Ya, it's like a Bala Ayam, Shadak, La'a Tat Zarai, Bala Ayam, Waka, it's like a Wabagad, Bala Ayam, Sha'ai Ta Naz, La'a, Ya'ila, Aliyak, verse 20, Wa'ayash, Baya, Yasha Kab, Ath, Asha, Shaka, Bak, Zerai, Wahawa'a, Shapa Kat, Shalaka Shapa Ka, Naka Rapath, La Ayash, Waha Pada, La'a, Napa Dat, Napa the Salaka, Napa the Tat, Awa, Kapasha, La'a, Nathan, Laham, Salaka Laha, Bakurath, Tahaya, La'a, Yawa Matwa, Kal, La'a, Ha Pasha, verse 21. Waha Baya'a, Ath, Ashamwa, La Yahawa, Al, Patak, Ahal, Mawa'id, Ayal, Ayash.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment.
Right.
Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shall thou judge thy neighbor.
So in righteousness, what do you mean by in righteousness? That means by through the laws, statutes, and commandments. Right. You know, either you're right or you're wrong. Either you did it or you didn't do it, man. You know, there is no gray area with the Lord. You can't straddle the fence. Either you're going to be righteous or you're going to be wicked. And that's how we're supposed to, you know, to judge. You know, you can't show favor favoritism to, your boy, and he's been shooting up the goddamn projects, and then you wanna, free little man, and little man been terrorizing the whole entire community, but you have a biased, skewed perception when it comes down, to the people that you like for whatever reason, man. You can't be that way when we're making judgments, man. We have to have righteous judgment. All right. Yeah, keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
How many people remember In Living Color? Kim Wayans, Bonita Betrayal. Remember that? You ain't hear it from me. That's what a talebearer is, man. Somebody that's full of just gossip. Right. You appear bearing false witness. You telling tales, man. That's where folklore comes from. Lies that have been passed down through oral tradition, for centuries. Lies about, Hansel and Gretel, or give me another one. Don Quixote and all this crap, man. Right. So it doesn't make any sense. You lying, you speaking on things that aren't real. This is stuff that you heard. You didn't see this happen. You didn't see this person do this thing that you're proposing they did. You can't be a talebearer, man. We have to deal in truth, in all things. The things that come out of your mouth should be true. You shouldn't be telling lies. You shouldn't be teaching your children about the tooth fairy or Santa Claus. You baking cookies. You're putting real acts behind these false beliefs. You can't do that, man. We have to live life on purpose in real time. All right? If you Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, we don't have time to waste like the heathens do. All right? We're trying to build the kingdom. We're trying to prepare ourselves for the kingdom of heaven. We want Christ to return. You don't want Christ to return if you celebrate Christmas or your goddamn birthday every year. You ready to? How are you gonna decorate your Christmas tree this year? You worried about the theme of your Christmas tree, man? It's a false thing. Right. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 16. Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So this is very interesting. How do you stand against the blood of thy neighbor? So you got to understand, America is its own separate project, man. We are a melting pot. Wherever you go in the world, Koreans live with other Koreans. The Chinese live around other Chinese people, man. The Russians live around other Russians. It's only in America where you might live next to an African or a filthy Moabite, man. At this time, with respect to our tribes, we stayed around our family. Your neighbor was your brother or your sister, man. Remember, what movie was that? He said, Fredo, never choose sides against the family. What was that? The Godfather, man. Them heathens had it right. They had it right. I will never choose sides against the family. You can't do that, man. That's how you stand against the blood of thy neighbor. Now, like I said, right is right and wrong is wrong, man. We're supposed to defend one another. So we all should be conducting ourselves to the best of our ability, man. All right? Don't put me between a rock and a hard place. Right. Deal honestly with these other heathens or when you're out in the world, man. I know these brothers in here, they're not sinners. Right. They're making the sacrifice to not compromise every day. That's right. They turn it back on the world, man. And then doing that and then making that sacrifice, I'll stand for them. All right? Right. Keep reading.
Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
How do you hate your brother in your heart? How do you hate your brother in your heart? How are some of the ways that we hate one another in our minds, man? Through jealousy, through vain envyings, through having a covetous spirit, wanting something that brother has, or wanting something that sister has for yourself. You hate the brother because he light skinned, or you hate him because he dark skinned, or because he has a better build than you, or because of his wife or his possessions, man, or because of his intellect. People are very, very threatened by intelligence, man. Right. I was taught play dumb, Act like you don't know. You know, I can't do it. I got too much goddamn pride. I know. I know. And maybe that's a fatal flaw, you know. We're not supposed to hate one another, man, in our hearts. You know, Dominicans shouldn't hate Mexicans, or Dominicans shouldn't hate the Haitians. You know, the so-called Judites shouldn't hate. You know, who do we hate? The Native Indians. The Native Indians shouldn't hate us. We one family, man. Keep reading.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
So we're not supposed to take vengeance into our own hands with respect to our own people. You know, you can't get any get back if it was so-called another Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, and we harm each other, man. They say hurt people hurt people. Right. You know, we harm one another because we're at the hands of the oppressor, and we can't do that, man. You can't take matters into your own hand. You know, you rob the Most High when you do that. Vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord, man. Keep reading.
Verse 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with the diverse kind.
Good night.
Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
So these are what you would call sundry laws, man. You know, it's just miscellaneous or various laws that the Lord is laying down for Israel, man. Laying down for his chosen. You know, if you have a question about what you should do with respect to any situation under the sun on earth, man, the answers are right here in this Bible, man. Right. You don't have to look far. You know, like I said, seek counsel. Get into one of these I.S.U.P.K classrooms. Bring your questions. I know you're full of questions. I know I was when I was in the world doing God knows what. Come in here, bring those questions, man. Get your brain washed free from the lies and deceit of America, man, of the world. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 20. And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman that is bondmaid, betrothed to a husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death because she was not free.
Right, man. So then you're getting into, you know, the specifics of, you know, how to deal with people that are, you know, are people dealing falsely with one another? You see this sister, she's already spoken for. She may be engaged. You know, she hadn't come together with her husband just yet. You know what I'm saying? And here you go, Dirty Mac, and being Keith Sweat, being Joe. You know, you slide in and you do that deed. You know, you lie with her carnally, in the flesh, man. Because if you weren't in the flesh, if you were thinking spiritually, you would have recognized that she was already spoken for. She was betrothed already to a husband. All right. So she'll be beat because of that. And our laws back then, man, we had, you know, we had entities that would mete out the Lord's judgments or the Lord's punishments. Right. You know, not like today. You know, we get punished by the mass incarceration, the prison system. You go into jail, and you know, police brutality. Those are the ways we get punished today. You know, and it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have another nation coming in, domineering over us, and meting out punishments upon us. We got our own separate ways to live, man. Right. And it's of understanding, according to the Most High. All right. Keep reading.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 21. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord,
right,
unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering.
Right.
And that's the end.
Just up here, imagine. Triple War, y'all present yourself, Baba Kasha. Trooper Warrior Allah, Banya Howda, Banya Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. Yeshabim, just up here, I'm going to be seated.
How many more sets we got? 2 more. Almost right.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 8, Slack 19, verse 22 in the Hebrew. Wa kapar al yawa hakahan ba'ayal ha'asham lapani Yahweh al tata atwa ashar hata'a wana salak lawa makata atwa ashar hata'a, verse 23. Wakaya taka awa al ha'arataza wana ta aitam kal aitaza ma'akal wa'aralahum. It's like a wa'aralathum ira latwa ath parayawa shalash shanyam yahaya lakam ara aralium la'a Ya'akal, verse 24. Wabashana, Harabya, Ith, Yahaya, Kal, Parayawa, Kodash, Hala, Wa, Layam, La Yahweh, verse 25. Wabashana, Hata, Maya, Shat, Ha'a, Ta'a, Kalwa, Ath, Parayawa, Lahawa, Sayap, Lakam, Taka wa atwa, anya Yahweh, ala yakam, verse 26. La'a, ta'a kalwa, al, hadam, la'a, ta'na kashawa, la wala'a, ta'a ran nawa, verse 27. La'a, takapar, pa'ath, ra'a shakam, wala'a, tashakat yak, it's like a tashakayat. Ath, Pa'ath, Zakanak, verse 28. Washarat, La Pash, it's like a La Napash, La'a, Tata Nawa, Baba Sharakam, Wakat Bath, Kwa'ai Kwa, La'a, Tata Nawa, Bakam, Anya Yahweh. That's it.
19 to 1, 2. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 22. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he have done.
Atonement just means to repair a wrong, man, or an injury, all right? It's an expiation for sin, all right? Keep reading.
And the sin which he have done shall be forgiven him.
Right.
Verse 23. And when ye shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be an uncircumcised unto you.
Right.
It shall not be eaten of. Verse 24. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise the Lord withal. Verse 25. And in the 5th year ye shall and in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am the Lord your God.
That's right.
Verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enhancements, nor observe time. Enchantments. Nor observe time.
Ye shall not eat what?
Eat anything with blood.
You should not eat anything with blood. What does that mean, man? You know, you see all these heathens. Once again, the customs of the people, man. You know, I seen a video of some filthy Hamites. We call Hamites Africans because that's who they are, according to what the Bible says. They cut the throat of this bull and collected the blood in a big bowl. Okay, there's flies everywhere, and just nakedness and funk everywhere. I could smell the video, Salakia, and they took that blood and they started to consume that blood. Everybody in the village, man, their mouth was soaked with the blood of this animal that had just been slain. And I couldn't help but to look, and they looked like a pack of hyenas, man, over a carcass, over a bloody carcass. Everybody had blood dripping off of their mouth and on their garments, and it just reeked of uncleanliness, man. If you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you cannot partake in this. You can't partake in, consuming blood. The life is in the blood. That's what the Bible says. You can't be a goddamn vampire. You can't be Count Dracula, man. Say you should not eat anything with the blood. What are some of the things that we eat with blood in it? Like what? Blood sausage? And Hispanics, that's real big in their custom, man. In their traditions, to eat blood sausage. You can't do that if you black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Okay? Neither shall you what?
Use. Neither shall you use enchantments.
Right, man. What is enchantment? What does that word enchantment mean? Because our people, we really.
Oh, like it too. You one that you talking about the blood in it is the one that Esau is definitely known for. That's that
Right.
that's that steak. You understand?
Right.
That pink steak that they like to eat.
Oh man.
Leave it 2 seconds on each side and it's ready to be served. You can't forget about him.
Well, no, you damn right. Get an auto on the hand. You're right about that.
What's that dude that be doing the exercises with the
Liver King?
Liver King, how you sucking the bone marrow out of a cow, man. It's like you can't do that. I seen a rare. I was at Golden Corral, and there was a big devil. He walked up behind me. I was like, oh, what is he doing? And then I watched how he ordered his steak because I had to wait for my steak. They was like, how you want your steak? I said, medium well, close to the well. So he was like, all right, it's gonna take a minute, brother. They put the little pan on top of the steak. This devil stepped forward and he said, how would you like your steak? He said, as close to rare as possible. I looked back at him, me and the chef looked at each other and we was like, what in the hell is this? Count Dracula does live, man. Right. He walks amongst us. And he cut that steak and I was like, man, I couldn't imagine. You know how chewy that has to be? The flavor, that is Esau. Ain't that sod pottage, right? Good night. Yeah. You said neither shall you use what?
Enchantments.
What was enchantment?
This is Merriam-Webster dictionary. A magic spell.
Magic spells. Our people, especially in the Caribbean, we big on that voodoo and that Hutu and putting roots on people. You think you can bury your husband's drawers in the backyard and he ain't gonna leave the house? That's a lie, man. You're not supposed to do that. You don't believe in you give power to these things. You believe in the voodoo and the Hutu and the Santeria and all that. You cutting up chickens in your closet. You can't do that, man. We're not witches or warlocks in this place. Well, we've learned to be that in America. We've learned to be that under the hand of our oppressors. These heathens, that's what they do. We can't seek out the witch of Endor like Saul did, man. Keep reading.
Verse 27. Ye shall not round the corner of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
Well, so we'll go back. You said nor observe times.
Oh, so
what is an observer of times? Yeah, getting all into the stars and quasars, man. Mercury rising. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like I see that on the sister page. I'm just disgusted. Unfollow, because I know you are delusional. You believe in lies. You lie to yourself. You can't believe in them horoscopes, man. You can't believe in your sign, your astrological sign. They changed it. Everybody thought that it was a Leo, but he was actually a so-called Virgo. Or Cancer, or whatever the hell, man. That's come on, man. That's foolishness. We can't believe in that sort of thing. We can't give power to those things, man. It's all witchcraft. Keep reading.
Verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corner of thy beard.
Man, this is a heavy one right here. This is why we teach against edge ups, man. We teach against edge ups, and the Africans, they go in there and they mar the corners of their heads. They'll bound the baby's head up. The baby looking like a damn alien. You got a lima bean head because they done put a band around the baby's head. We don't do that. That's not our custom here. I used to have a barber, man. She would cut her hair. She would just cut the corners smooth off. And it looked ridiculous. It was like an upside down U. There was no corners. And I'm like, you can see that where it's supposed to be a corner there. Like, we can't do that, man. It's ridiculousness, man. You more in the corners of your beard, man. The day of the shaved face coon is over, man. Right. Your pastor ain't got no goddamn facial hair. Grow what you can. That's what we were taught in the school, man. A man is supposed to have facial hair. All right? And if you don't have facial hair, then the Lord didn't want you to have a beard, man, for whatever reason. But you're not supposed to go and disrupt that, man. Now you can clean it up. I see brothers in, you clean it up. My brother got hair to grow right underneath his eyes. My brother Quatazar, you know what I'm saying? Hairy. I'm talking about his beard connects to the back of his hair. You know what I'm saying? Like a mane on a lion, You can clean it up. I heard Commander General YAHANNA say it was okay to clean it up, man. But you're not supposed to just go in and get that real crisp, that line up, that edge up, man. It's unlawful. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 28. Ye shall not make any cutting in your flesh for the dead,
right?
Nor put any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
One of the most popular or famous depictions of that is Killmonger, man, from the Black Panther. He had all those keloids because he took a razor blade and he would cut, and that's like a rite of passage in some heathen customs or heathen cultures. The Hamites, they love to do that. They're into the scarification. You can't do that. Where do we learn scarification from? The so-called oppressor. Right. Where did he learn it from? Another heathen. Right. Those sailors went over to Japan and learned the art form of tattooing. And they took it back to Pearl Harbor and took it back to, San Bernardino, and it just spread all over the earth, man. Now you got us, tattooing, only God can judge me, or tattooing, rest in peace, Pookie, Right. We don't do that in here, man. What we say may he rise again. That's what we teach. We don't believe in cutting into our flesh, man. That's what you do too when you get that edge up. That's why when they put that antiseptic on at the end, it burns because you have cut into the flesh, man. All right? Is that it on that? You should not make any what?
Make any cuttings into your flesh for the dead,
right.
Nor put any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
Right, man. Tattoos are unlawful, man. Unlawful. Before we knew any better, we was out in the world getting tatted up, man. You defiled yourself. You polluted yourself, with the ways of heathens. We can't do that, all right? According to what the Most High says. These are not my words. This is what the Bible says, all right? Keep reading.
Oh, let's sit on that. Or go to
29. 28, you were 28.
Come on.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29 in the Hebrew. Al, Takalau, Ath, Batak, Laha Zanarata, Wala'ah, Tazana, Ha'arataza, Wamala'ah, Ha'arataza, Zama, verse 30. Ath, Shabbat Taya, Tasha Marwa, Wama Kodasha, Haya Ra'awa, Anya Yahweh, verse 31. Al, Tapanawa, Al, Ha'akath, it's like Ha'abath, Wa'al, Haya Da'ai Yum, Al, Taba Kwashwa, Latama'ah, Baham, Anya Yahweh, Ala Yakam, verse 32. Mapanya, Shayaba, Takawam, Waha Darat, Panya, Zakwan, Waya Ra'ath, Ma'ala Hayak Anya Yahweh, verse 33. Wakaya Yagawar Athak, God, it's like Gar, Ba'aratazakum, La'a, Haran Nawa, Atwa, verse 34. Ka'azarak, Makam, Yahaya, Lakam, Hagar, Atakam, Wa'ahabath, Lawa, Bamawak, Kaya, Garayum, Hayayatum, Ba'arataza, Matazarium, Anya, Yahweh, Alayakam, verse 35. La'a, Ha'aishawa, Iwal, Bama Shapat, Bama Da, Bama Shakal, Waba Mashara. That's it.
Come. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. Let the land fall, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness.
Man, you cannot. That is a disgusting thing to do. You're not a mother that should be celebrated at all, or a father that should be celebrated at all. If you do that, you prostitute your daughter. You offer her for sexual activity in exchange for payment. We here in Fayetteville, 15 years ago, we had a case where this woman traded her daughter, Shania Davis, to some brother, man, and it was all confusion because she was dealing with a heathen. So the baby was a heathen, but she traded that baby off. She didn't give a damn about that baby. She traded that baby off for payment. She prostituted her daughter, man. And she's serving a 17-year sentence today. She's locked up today because of it, man. They should have threw her under the goddamn jail for doing something like that. And even though it was a heathen, we still have compassion, man. Right is right, wrong is wrong, man. You can't prostitute your daughter. This baby was what? She would have been 15 back in 2019. Destroyed that. She was murdered, man. That girl got murdered at the hands of that brother because we don't keep the laws. We didn't see any value in these customs. We didn't see any value in what the Lord was telling us back in the book of Leviticus 19th chapter. We didn't give a damn about that. And this is the reason why we have to, make caskets for little girls, man, who get prostituted out by their mothers who don't care about them. The land is full of wickedness. Keep reading.
Verse 30. Ye shall keep my Sabbath.
That's what we're doing here today. We're keeping the Sabbath.
It's a lot here too. Well, and we also go into like the raising the children, like the whole what can you get out of a man mind state that the mothers and fathers put into these young girls as well,
right?
With the mindset of what can a man do for you, and what can he the own solely purpose is for him to provide for you.
Right.
That turns you into what can I get from a man, and it has the mindset of prostitution.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They are raising. Modern day society is saying it's okay to do these things and have this type of mindset for a young lady. It's not based on how she's treated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not based on how she's being taught, how she's being protected. It's all about what she can get. And that's the mindset of a prostitute. What I'm going into this transaction based on what I can get, what I can obtain, not understanding that you're also losing a part of yourself as well. You understand?
Yeah, right. You're right about that, sir. You can't be like what Sukiyana and Cardi B and JT and Young Miami and you can't be like any of them. And it's crazy, like how they prop them up to be the examples of these are the role models that our daughters should follow. Right. These are nothing more than prostitutes, man. The Bible says a shameless woman should be counted as a dog, man. We can't do that. We can't allow our daughters, or you can't allow our daughters to take on that mentality. All right.
Verse 30. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary.
That's right.
I am the Lord.
That's what we're doing today, man. We're keeping the Lord's Sabbath, man. We're being separate. We're being holy. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God.
Man, what is a familiar spirit? I was talking to a sister at the slave yesterday, and she was talking about some, her dog can pick up on the spirit of people that mean her no good. What? And I said, damn, you got a familiar? And she said, yes. So I'm thinking, like, you got a little demon, so you a witch. That's what a familiar spirit is. It's a demon, man. It's ridiculous, man. Regarding not them to have familiar spirits, not to seek after wizards. What is a wizard? A wizard is a male witch. It's a warlock, all right? Which is like,
Christianity is one hell of a drug.
yeah, Christianity is one hell of a drug, man. Neither to what?
Oh, shit,
Neither seek after wizards.
Oh,
Why would you seek after a wizard? What can a wizard do for you?
drugs.
What can a wizard do for you?
Person.
So like it, not a damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
You seeking after Gandalf and Merlin, you hold them in high esteem. Like they have any power. We can't give credence to enchantment, to witchcraft, because that's all they practice is witchcraft. All right. To be defiled by them, to be polluted by them, to be spoiled and destroyed by them. You're going to see a soothsayer. You're going to see Sister Ann, because you think she can read your palm and tell you your future, tell you your fortune. Keep reading.
Verse 32. What the fuck? Oh, verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear thy God. I am the Lord.
That's right.
Verse 33. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him.
Yeah, man, you see that all the time. I watch like Kirk Cass, and like the Passport Bros, and you see these brothers, and Kirk is not a brother, he's South African, but he goes into all these foreign countries, and you see he's a stranger sojourning amongst the people, and everybody's trying to scam him. Everybody's trying to, get the money that he has in his pocket. So a normal cab ride will be $3, but they're gonna charge him $30. You know what I'm saying? That's how you vex. This is how you would vex the stranger that travels amongst you, man. We can't do that. We got to deal honestly with people, man, because our reputation precedes itself. We don't want to be known in the land as being thieves and murderers, man. We represent the most high power. We got to show the people that there is a God, man. All right. We are the living representation of that power, man. Yasha Allah. Okay. We are princes of the power, literally. All right. Keep reading.
Verse 34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself.
Right.
For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
Love him as yourself, man. Treat him like you want to be treated. That's the golden rule, right? You're not going to deal with them unrighteously. You're going to extend the same laws that you would to these damn heathens, man. This is the reason why we don't advocate for violence in the UPK, even though we know exactly who these people are. We know who the other nations are and their crimes against our family, against our nation. We allow the Lord, is going to mete out vengeance upon them. We don't. All we got to do is be obedient and watch the Lord work, man. What they say in the Christian church, let go and let God. That's what they say, right? Good night. Keep reading.
Verse 35. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meteor, in weight, or in measure.
Right.
That's
it.
Come.
Most high in Christ.
Just up here, imagine.
Well, Yahshua.
Yahshua.
Imagine, you understand? Which one you said? The fringe is supposed to be which one?
Yeah, this is yeah. There you go. Sarpan Wahakudam means turn to face the east.
We get ready to say these prayers in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malatuka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Washemayim, Latonlanao, Lakam, Cow, Yawam, Wasalak now, Kabawat now, Kasalak now, Kabawati now, Wala'ah, Tabi'ayah now, Badasaya 1, a ball, Hawashaya now, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwat, Waha'ala, Watapara, Lavalumium, Aman.
In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it.
This is the Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Kashai, Nathanlanawa, Hakak, Hakak, La Pa'ab, Kamakalab, Wakal Marawab, Hakak, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, La Hakim, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawaz, Hatima Allah, Garshan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the water Aman.
In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, power to cleanse the lepers, power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Ahaharium, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ai, Izaria, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hadna, La'am, Yanawam, Wala'am, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Ayad, Yam Yakam, Yawamam, Hashemash, La'ayakakam, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Bakal Rai, Yashamar, Atnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'aka, Wabawa'aka, Mayata, Wa'ayid Awalam.
In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help coming from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
This is a book of Psalms, chapter 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dam Yalaka, Al-Takarash, Al-Tashakwat, Al, Kayahadna, Awayabika, Yahama Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'aran Yamwa, Saiwada, Wayata, Ya'aitazawa, Al-Tazapawanika, Amarawa, Lakawa, Wanakakinum, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum Yasha'alam, Awada, Kaya, Nawa'aitazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Bariyat, Yakaratwa, Ahoya, Arawam, Wayashma'ala, Yum, Mawa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palishat, Amyashabya, Tazawar, Gum Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Selah, Aishalaham, Kamajin, Kasayasa Ra'ah, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashimadwa, Ba'ayadara, Hayawa, Daman, La Dama, Shayatamwa, Nadaya Mawa, Ka Irab, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Mana'ai, Kana Sayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Narisha, Lanawa, Ath, Na'awath, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya Rakab, Ka'ash, W Ira Yaira, Wakala Haba, Tahalat, Hariyam, Kantaradatma, Basai Rakab, Wabasa, Wapatka, Tabhalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shumka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ajaid, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayadawa, Kaya Atta, Shumka, Yahawa, Labadka, Ayawan, Alkaha Arataza.
In the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yashala may be no more remembrance, for they have consulted together, like of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zaeb, yea, all their princes as Zebah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea. Excuse me. Salakia. Let them be put to shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
This is the power, structure, blessings, and ranking for Israel and the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayak Alam, Wa Alahayim, Watazabiyah, Alawap Yohana, Ha Alawapim, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kwazayoyim, Ha Kayoyoyim, Wa Agwatim, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, the water among.
In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it.
Sir, sisters, Yashab, you men to be seated. Men of Israel, gird thyselves up to salute the Torah.
Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shabrak, yeah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak, yeah.
Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shabrak, yeah. Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shabrak, yeah. Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shabrak, yeah. Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shabrak, yeah.
Slap that. Hold it for him.
Yeah.
Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute unto the teacher. Men of Israel, Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Shimei, Yahweh, Barakatah.
Yehovah Shemi Yahshua
Yahya Matah, Sar, men of turn, face the sisters. Sisters, Imagine, men of stand. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute unto the sisters. Men of Israel, Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Shema, Lataba, Shimei, Yahweh, Yahya Matah, Sabbath dismissed.
You heard that shit?
You threw the shalom in that joint, didn't you?